which we will handle, and how are we going to rectify them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the supply chain operation reference model. This is a basic concept where in either of the companies which we have spoken about the upstream and downstream, right? Hope you remember, Jalaj.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So either of the company which have a practice, whether it is a complicated practice or a simple practice where you go for an online delivery system. So either of the companies which have different parties which are involved, or only it's are very simple where it only goes for the just giving the customers with the services, rendering the services. They basically have five important segments which we have to discuss. Like they can be as plan, source, make, deliver, return. So these are a few important five segments which we have to understand, and how are they quite important for us in planning, and how does the GATP, that is Global Availability Promise, will help us to have dedicated plans towards this five segments of supply chain operation reference model. So as we see that these are the five more segments which will be there. So how many ever number of parties which may be involved in your overall supply chain process, this will be the few basic for sure occurring modules. Because of that, the score says that so any supply chain model will have these segments. Maybe one may be the in the higher end and the other one be the lower end. Like what I'm trying to say is, like, for example, for Amazon, it doesn't actually make any production of the products, only it tries only procure it. So maybe for the making is only for some extent is like it is going to wrap it to the materials and is going to send it. But some other manufacturing company may be more into making than sourcing. So they may have the different levels of practice for these plans or source or make and deliver and returns. But for sure, every company which is in the supply chain process will have for sure these all segments. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever I'm saying about plan, so the plan is a process that balances aggregated demand and supply. You agree with this, right?
Yep.
Sourcing, production, and delivery. So we understand that, okay, yes, at planning level it is quite important for us to understand what are the different segments which are involved. So whether should I purchase the material, or whether should I really produce the material, and all the segments will come into planning. Good enough. How about sourcing? So
Uh,
we have
Arvind, Arvind, do I need
yeah,
to note down everything, or you would send these all things to me?
Yeah, good. Actually, the thing is like we have a recording session. This is all recording, so you can actually just go and just hear this, and however you'll get the end of the day you'll get the recordings for you. So you can again play it for as many number of times as you require.
Okay, so like someone would send me this recording,
Yes,
or shall
someone will
I?
send you.
Okay, okay,
Someone will send you the recordings. But what I say is like whenever I feel that there's some important topic which I'm speaking about, I'll tell you to note it down. So those things, those points you
okay,
can note it. But rest of the things you need not note it down. It is however a recorded session.
okay, okay.
Good, very good. Yeah. So when we speak about the process of sourcing, so we say we know about sourcing is like process of procuring the goods or services to meet the planned or actual demand. So there's something important which at some point I'm saying about a clue point. So here I say about there are two different things, planned or actual demand. So what's different between a planned demand and an actual demand? Jalaji, are there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what could be the difference between a planned demand and an actual demand?
So planned demand would be like uh, some forecast, like or not forecast, like we are
Wonderful.
planning like for
Yes.
certain time we would need this, and the actual demand like
Is the orders which are in hand. Exactly. Wonderful. Yes. So the
yeah,
planned demand will be the forecast. Wonderful. So the thing is, the source, it can be you're trying to source something or you're trying to produce it. It can be a direct. It can be due to a direct requirement that is an actual demand, or it can be an indirect demand that is a planned demand. So either of them, still sourcing has to be happen. So these are the basic segments. So from going forward, I will be using planned or actual demand. That means a demand which is raised due to some forecast. It can be called as a planned demand. And when I say actual demand, that means you still have an order. It's a firmed order within the two parties, that is the customer and the manufacturer, the service renders, right?
yeah.
Yeah. In a nutshell, when I say what is a make process, the process that transforms a product to a finished state. So might be Amazon has still bought a laptop which has been ordered by the customer, but there was still some validation which is required. Like for example, Amazon has to do the labeling of it, like it's a branding of Amazon and all, and then it has to deliver, or it has to still make some wrapping, or it has to make some packaging for it which is specific to Amazon, and it is going to send it to the customer. So the product confirmation, the transformation of a product to a finished state which can be given to the customer is called as making. So that is the reason why I have made it as a process that transforms a product to a finished state. Hope you got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah, good enough. So I may not speak more about returns, however returns is known for you. So the process to provide the finished goods and services to meet the planned or actual demand is called as delivery. So returns, if we speak about returns, nowadays we have come across something world called as the reverse supply chain management, where the effective reverse supply chain management is being used by some of the very good companies. Like maybe you are aware of a Samsung Galaxy, right? There was some defect in the Samsung Galaxy piece. So the reverse mechanism, or the process by which it was able to get its products back from the customers and was able to supply it with the defect free mobiles was very wonderfully narrated. So the thing was like it had a very good process of reverse supply chain management. So returns is also sometimes very important, but it purely depends on the business which you are into it. I did right, like we have functional and innovative in nature. Do you remember that whenever you are trying to classify a particular material, it can be broadly classified as functional and innovative? Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, right. So those which are in functional might be they do not have a reverse supply chain management. Returns it should be considered about the returns and all. But those which are in innovative in nature, because there is every possibility that it will not be the satisfactory for the customers with the what are the product which was delivered. So even the reverse supply chain management should be very good. So even that is there with the Amazon, right? Like whenever you feel that you have got a product and you feel that okay, this is not the one which you are actually expecting for, you can give it back to the customer, to the one who has already bought it for you. So reverse supply chain management should also be active in those firms, but it is not active. It not will be like a very much important segment for most of the companies. That depends. But however, we still have the part of planning, the part of sourcing, the part of making, the part of delivering, and also the part of returning is still accepted. Is still the part of the whole supply chain process for any small or big players in the companies. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, but if you see like source and deliver, the definition looks similar.
Just waiting for you to just ask me this source and deliver. What is the difference between them? So when I say the source, if you see here, process of goods and services to meet the plan. So when I'm saying that to meet, that means like Amazon itself doesn't really produce it, but it has to bring it to meet the planned and actual demand. But here you're trying to provide it. Hope you got me. You're
Yeah.
trying to when you say the process that provides the finished goods. So you have made some process, you have done the wrapping of the laptops and all, and you're trying to provide it. So that comes in the deliver. Hope you got me.
So deliver means like delivering. You mean to say like that?
The finished
Delivery.
goods. Yes, delivery.
Then how the plant and actual demand comes in that delivery? Like something material I manufactured already. Now I'm going to deliver to the customer door. Then how
Yes.
this terms plant and actual come in that scenario?
Yes. So the thing is, so we'll take the same example of delivery. So let us say like you have to prioritize your delivery sometimes. So let us take the same example of Amazon. So what you will try to do is like how are you trying to map up this? So in order to make up to reduce the overall transportation lanes cost and all, what you are trying to do is like you'll make sure that how is your prioritized customer is quite important for you. Like let us say like this is a customer who can just take the product even after 1 week. There is no hurry burry for him, and I have another customer who need it to, as immediate as tomorrow. So how should I prioritize this? Even the still I'm trying to do the same finished good, I'm trying to give the same finished good, but I have to prioritize depending on which I'm trying to reduce my overall transportation cost. Am I right? So these are all comes under delivery processes. Hope you got me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I will discuss about a few error logs or the errors which basically we find whenever we are going to handle with an order to cash model, and how are we trying to reduce it. So now we have understood that okay, every segment will have some planning, sourcing, making, delivery, and returns will be there. So they are connected in any supply chain operation reference model, in any supply chain model. So now taking this into consideration, a few errors which can provoke and how are we going to reduce them, we will be discussing about them. So the first point is about the high order taking errors, and then high order fulfillment errors. is also called as DSO. So high order taking errors. So might be we are trying to confirm for a particular customer. Jalaj, you are able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, high order taking errors, like when you for a particular for a single order, maybe you might have booked multiple orders, so that comes under high order errors. And high order fulfillment errors, maybe you're trying to get more and more inventory to make sure that you're trying to you're able to make sure that the demand is being fulfilled, so that comes under high order fulfillment errors. Maybe they were clear for you by the name I have said you. But the third one, high days sales outstanding rates, maybe this is something new for you, if I'm wrong, if I'm not correct, if I'm correct, it is something new term for you, right? DSO, what it could be.
DSO, like DSO I heard, but in the different module, maybe uh, because direct shipment option or something else.
This comes under the days of sales outstanding rates.
Okay, okay.
So what does it mean is, like, basically, let us say, like, there are two different parties. Like, let us say it is a regular customer for me who comes to me to purchase the laptops like every day. So I did not really raise an order for this. The customer did not raise an order. What I will do is, like, I will make sure that for every day I have to send him like some 50 laptops every day, or let us say for every week. It's a periodic way how the demand is gonna come for me from that customer. So we have an agreement, like, so what happens is, like, so whenever I'm going, there is some deviation in the agreement. Like, let us say, like, instead of 50, I'm going to send him like only 40 because of some reduction of the production or whatever it is. For this deviation, I will make sure that I'm going to give him some additional credit, or I'm going to give him some additional discount for the product or some other things, so that the customer is not going to lose from me, because he's a regular customer for me and I'm going to get the very good enough sales for the overall complete year, right? So in those agreements, what it is something called as days sales outstanding. What happens is, like, might be the overall time duration by which it has took to me to promise the given quantity has increased actually to the permitted level. Like, he maybe he says that within 10 days you have to make sure that you have delivered me 500 laptops, but it actually has not happened. It has deviated, like I was only able to give him 400 laptops. For this, he may be asking for me some additional discount and all. So the days of sales outstanding, it depends on the number of days it has took to me to accept the deviation. Like, maybe instead of 10 days I took it for 12 days, so that is has some deviation. But if it takes 15 days, it has more deviation. In that aspect, what will happen is, like, it will go for additional discount which I have to bear with him. Hope you got me.
So you want to say, like, for example, say the example which you took, like 100 laptop I need to deliver in 10 days, but I couldn't, and I can deliver 100, but 12 days instead of 10. So 2 days you are
Yes.
saying the deviation.
Yes, it is a deviation. So according to that deviation, they will be in the agreement itself. First, they will be having the agreements in which they say, like, within for 2 days you have to give some base of discount. If it is for 15 days, you have to go base of discount. So they will be having different scales. Actually, this is called a scaling process, in which they will be having. It can be due to the number of days, or it can be sometimes it can be due to quantity, or it can be number. It can be the time duration. Either of them can be the factors which can influence the day sales outstanding.
Okay, okay.
So what
And
at the end of the day, what happens is the manufacturer is going to lose it, because he is going to bear this additional, like, whether it is for additional tax, additional discount is again a burden for him, right? Because he has to go for the low margins for that particular product because he was not able to promise it. Even that is another error, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
before going to the next, like the first point you wrote, like high order taking
Order
error.
taking error.
That means
Yes.
if I'm taking order more orders, so you would say this is the errors, correct?
Yes, like for example, maybe actually you need a single laptop. You are a customer who has booked with an online shopping where you have booked for a single laptop. So but if there was any duplicacies, or like my person by seeing the mail or anything as such, he has created some other additional order. So in that comes under high order taking, might be because there were like 3 or 4 orders were created or booked against your request. Hope you got me.
No,
You
no.
have requested for a single laptop, but there were 3 to 4 orders were created by taking your single request.
But this is the, but how it is possible in SAP? Like this is the
Yeah, I'm
manner
saying about in
is
an
being.
order to cash model. I'm not saying you it is in SAP. I'm saying in an order to cash model. This doesn't come in the SAP. I'm still not into SAP. I have not logged into SAP yet. I'm saying about the few errors that come into the order to cash model, and how are we going to see if you see there was this example of this like high order taking errors. We have GATP same process of mapping the order till the delivery. So there's no way like in SAP when you go for especially with GATP, so every reference maybe the stock which you're going to consider and how the production is going to happen, that will be mapped against an order. So obviously you are able to take this high order taking errors. It has been evaluated for sure. But first before that I'm saying like how the orders, like how the issues were there or how the errors were there. So in that practice I'm just telling you, and then we'll go ahead with the GATP.
Okay.
Okay.
And once more, like once again, sorry for the high order fulfillment error. Uh, what you said about that?
High order fulfillment errors. So here in GATP we are like, I'm going to discuss you about a few concepts like where the overall concept speaks about like how is the production happening, or how is that overall mapping of production is happening with the order taken, or there's something called as MAD which I'm going to speak, that is a material availability date. In this segment, if let us say like we are not speaking about like GATP is there into the system, like there is no process of GATP, and in a basic OTC model how it happens is like to in order to ensure that the orders which has come, maybe they were able to get some additional inventory, excess inventory, to make sure that the orders are not missing. But however, GATP will not make you to go for that. I'm saying in a process where we have not discussed about the evaluation of GATP is happening, or the process where doesn't the GATP practice is not there. In those segments, I'm saying about high order fulfillment errors, where you are trying to get more and more inventory to ensure that the orders are given. That is the reason why we are going for GATP, right? Where the both parties have been benefited. Even the manufacturing is also benefited at the same as the customer, because customer is quite aware about the exact date by which he is going to get it, and the manufacturer knows that what he has to do because he has the orders in hand and how he has to go to plan for them. Hope you got me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So these are a few basic OTC errors. These are not in specific to GATP, but I'm just speaking you in detail about how these errors were, and you will also understand about them when you're trying to go with the in specific with the topics. Might be this errors you will be able to connect by yourself. You will be able to connect the dots, and you will say that yes, they were been they these errors have been evaluated, or have been evacuated, or it has been resolved using this process of GATP. That you will for sure you will see it for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And hope the point were clear, or else let me know. The first,
Yes.
second,
Yeah. First, second, third. Yes. Now last point is winning. Yeah.
yeah, the long-term losses to customer defections. So might be here, like might be customer repeated questions like it was being promised by let us say like the 31st of May, but it has 30th of May, but it has not been rendered. Again, they're gonna promise for another date and all. So it happens very quite frequently, and if the customer has not received it, obviously you may lose the customer even and or even the overall the process of customers what do you say, the intimacy of the customers with the company. So what happens is like in order to make sure that we have something called a concept of BOP, and the concept of BOP is like backorder processing, where every time there will be some due to the constant supply and all, you will be seeing that how is this actually is happening and why is this happening, and how the company is able to ensure that these customers have been handled. So you may be asking like, Arvind, why are they actually like trying to like go for other confirmations back? Might be they might have said that I will be able to give you by 30th of May, and again they have gone for the 15th of June, something as that. They have changed the date, but basically why do they do that? And what is the reason behind when they go for it? So there's something called as order prioritizations and the concept of constraint supply. So in those type of businesses, you expect this to be happening. So where the customer will be still okay to go for the go ahead with the other date, and because the customer also expects there will be some delay, but at the same time how the manufacturer is able to overall manage the demand is very important. So I hope you remember about the concepts of make to order and make to engineering. So in make to engineering, even the both the parties, That is the manufacturer and also the customer is quite aware that the lead time is quite high. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So so it happens like in the different segments might be your overall customers who are dependent. They are also aware that the lead time will be higher. So they are also fine to go ahead with the changes in the availability of the date. But still, there should be some real-time process that ensures that the customer's MID was being changed and it has to be at least given by that time. So for that we had a BOP process, and that actually there is a process which will actually evaluate this is a pointer like long-term losses to the customer defections. It's trying to point out to that one of the process of BOP. So maybe not, I'm not saying about all these are trying to point out some of the processes of GATP, but these are the, if you like considered OTC errors, and they are been evaluated by completely eradicated by the GATP.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say JTP, also can become, we can speak about like SAP, not just about a JTP, but also some also maybe reward even for the SAP, like with the basic order taking process, how SAP takes with the data flow and all. It makes sure that high order taking errors are gone, right? You agree with that point also, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So today I will start with the basic methods of GATP and advanced methods of GATP, and then we'll go ahead with the important confidence settings, masters and all. So basically, a material which we say in ECC is called as a product. You're there?
Yes. You said in ECC we call the product, or in GATP we call the product.
In APO. So
Yeah.
this is the naming convention in ECC,
Mhm.
and this is an APO. So whether when I say a material or a product, it's not something different. So in material in ECC is called as a product in APO. A work center in ECC is called as a resource. And we have something called as production versions. I will speak about them in the upcoming sessions, however.
Yeah.
Is called as PDS, that is production data structures. And another important point which you have to understand is, so whether it's a location, it's a vendor, customer, DCs, all these have been classified as a location, but we have different types in it where it still API is able to recognize them. Fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe for the customer basic details and all, they will be still be maintained as in a location ways, and there we have like different types like 1010 is a type for that. So in that it is able to distinguish. So this is a way how the mapping is done at ECC and the APO level. Okay. So
Okay.
however, when we're trying to discuss about the masters and all, again we will try to discuss it. Just I want to just thought to brief about them. Yeah, good. So speaking about the basic methods and advanced methods of GATP. So the process of ATP is there since ages. So how does the GATP has able to evaluate itself and come against with the upcoming challenges? It had new advanced technology, advanced modules where it has to ensure that it has to cope up with different modules of APO. Like you can have a combination of DP, SNP, and GATP. You can have a combination of DP and GATP. You can also have a combination of GATP and SNP or GATP